factory. Duke's like a one-man MVP factory on the other side, though. That's the thing. Narband right away against the GE Tigers. I would not want Smeb to have that either.
Bit surprising they don't want to prioritize it as a first pick, and we'll keep an eye on what GE wants to do. Interesting, Lee Sin ban.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. That's not usually a ban that we see.
Although I do think targeting Watch is an intelligent decision. I mean, Watch, again, kind of the weak link on Najin right now, and so I think if you can force him into an uncomfortable pick, that could really, really help a lot.
Long will be taken out as well, despite Kuro's skill on the champion.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to ban the Jarvan or try and force Najin to first pick Jarvan. Watch has really only played Lee Sin and Jarvan this season. He dabbled in a little bit of Elise, but that's a pretty suboptimal jungle pick at the moment.
Yeah, that is true. It does seem like they're trying to force Najin into a first pick jungler, and there's a Lulu ban against Smeb. Of course, that does kind of take away a lot of the power Juggernaut Kog'Maw strategy.
I think that's wise.
Yep, I agree.
It is. The Juggernaut strategy does rely on Lulu to a certain degree. Rumble will be the last ban. So the question is, are they going to first pick Janna or Jarvan? It's a tough choice for Najin. And they could take Kassadin instead, but that would give Janna Jarvan over to GE, and it seems like that would be a pretty ideal first round of the draft for them.
Yeah, I mean, is the Kassadin really worth it? It is a flex pick. They decide it is. They could also take Janna Corki as well, too.
Interesting that they...
Oh, Corki Rek'Sai.
Of course, Rek'Sai still up. This is patch 5.1, so
yeah.
Rek'Sai has experienced a few nerfs so far. Kassadin is such a high priority pick between both of these teams. It's been something that neither team has really gotten. It's frequently banned out against both of them because we know that all four of these players, Duke, Goong, Kuro, and Smeb, really like this champion.
All right, Jarvan pickup would be pretty obvious at this point, although I suppose they don't technically need to grab it right now with the jungler on the other side already chosen.
It's going to be interesting. Rek'Sai, played by Lee, not a champion that we've seen him on before, of course, usually banned.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Make it happen. It does reveal that Kassadin is a mid laner, though, something that the GE Tigers could take advantage of.
That's true, especially if Kuro did play something like Jace. Or
Ezreal. Anyway. Yeah,
the Ezreal. And he did play the Ezreal in their last game as part of the Juggernaut composition. So they should expect that. I'm a bit surprised by Najin, but then again, if they picked Kassadin, it was almost certainly going to Goong anyway, just because LeBlanc isn't available. And Goong not known for having the largest champion pool. It will actually be the Azir.
Yeah.
However, locked in. Now, Azir is almost always banned against GE. Very key point. A lot of players afraid of Kuro's Azir from solo queue, and he hasn't had many chances to show it off. He did, about 4 games ago, have one match on Azir, but that was it.
Prey going to pick up that Maokai for Smeb in the top lane. You know, we saw what Marin was able to do with that Maokai and SK Telecom's last outing. It was pretty terrifying. Smeb looking to recreate his own version of that performance, I guess. We'll see what Najin decides to go with their final 2 picks. They're still missing that bot lane. Janna falling really far through the draft, surprisingly.
Very, very odd.
Yeah.
And they're actually going to take the Nami here.
It makes more sense, I suppose. Yeah, will they switch over to Janna? I do kind of, well, do I like the Nami better? I'm not so sure.
Wow, Gorilla hovering over the Leona. No Annie in this game, and no Janna would be extraordinarily surprising.
Yeah, and I feel like Janna would work just fine for the Tigers as well, but he's going to go with the Leona, so an aggressive composition coming in for the GE Tigers. I suppose you do have some pick potential with Maokai with pretty much everything.
The Leona changeup, if we look at Gorilla's recent history, he's been playing nearly entirely Peel-based champions, Janna, Nami, and Morgana. Instead, they will be relying on him for Engage this game and following up with a Rek'Sai knockup. Very interesting composition. Now, they do have a big lane bully lane, so I'm wondering if Najin's going to be bold enough to face them in the 2v2. Of course, Corki Leona, one of the most brutal early game lanes in League of Legends. And if you're wondering why, the reason is because basically when you turn Gatling gun on, it ticks several times a second. And what that means is that you can proc all of Leona's Sunlight, even on a very fast Leona combo. So the burst damage is pretty crazy.
Yeah, the EQ from Leona suddenly becomes really, really
Right.
strong with the Gatling gun.
Normally AD carries can usually only pop one of those. When you can pop all three, pretty much guaranteed, that tends to make those trades pretty darn brutal.
Well, if you do it right, the shield should be exploding as you go
Yep.
in for the EQ as well, too. So that's very easily 3. Well, we'll see what happens, guys. Najin versus GE Tigers. Time to get the game. Prey, he's so huge. Let's just have him stand up and have buildings underneath him and stuff. Preyzilla. Well, welcome.
It's actually pretty close to his duo name of Preyilla.
That's true. Preyilla.
Prey and Gorilla.
Or Gore.
No, mine's better.
Preyilla's better. I agree with that. All right. Well, here we are. Here we are again, Monty. Once again on Summoner's Rift.
Where we always are, really.
That's right. Pretty much live there.
We thought about going to Twisted Tree Line for a bit, but then decided against it.
Nah. I like the Rift.
Yeah, very interesting though.
That's the best taunt you can do with any skin in the game right there. The Control 3, Leona, Parasol Wave. Do that in lane and you will win every time. I guarantee you.
Enrage your opponents.
That's right.
Interesting. Duke starting with Flask this game up in the top side. Flasks all around Kuro and Goong. Looks like we will be heading into a more passive laning phase.
Oh, goody.
I'm really curious why they banned the Lee Sin and not the Jarvan.
Well, Lee taking a bit of damage. Rek'Sai also skipping leg day with all 4 legs. It's impressive.
She's made to be underground.
I guess so. But still, I mean, you need to be able to back up quickly. I don't know.
Well, I'm very curious if Najin really wants to have the 2-on-2 here. We'll make our early laning phase perhaps a bit difficult.
Looks like they will.
Check the brush real quick with a Phosphorus Bomb. They will find OQ. A little bit of trading right there. E first from OQ. A little pushing, of course.
And keep in mind, this is 5.1 still, so it's not the new Tristana just yet.
Sad times.
Yep. That's right. Happy times for GE though. That new Tristana is a bit of a lane bully, to put it mildly.
It's true. Wow, Kane taking a lot of damage right there in the trade.
Yeah, that'll happen.
A little bit more sustain, however. And it's like Najin a little bit ahead in terms of the pushing so far. Ray wanting to stay back and farm up a little bit closer to his turrets.
Well, you know, it's too bad, too, because if you can get that level 2 first on a Leona lane, you can really just immediately go all in and make their day very miserable. But it looks like the GE Tigers won't quite get that opportunity this time.
Yeah, GE will know where the enemy jungler is, not seeing him at Krugs right there. And, of course, the leash in the top side can guess his jungle route with some accuracy.
Going in onto Kane right away. And just like you said, Gatling gun activated. Kane really low. Tried to pop that summoner heal. OQ tried to save him. It didn't work. And Gorilla gets a bloodthirsty support first blood. I like it. Ignite burned by Kane as well there, too. All 4 summoners used on the side of GE Tigers. OQ still with his flash left, but that's a tough start. And that's the danger of that Leona Corki level 2.
And that is why, Doa, I was wondering if they were going to lane swap. It is super perilous with a squishy support like Nami to put yourself in a situation where you can get all in. This is an all-in lane. Corki Leona, and Kane really not respecting that. Right off the bat, gets caught with the Leona E, and that's all she wrote.
Well, Kane was so far up in lane. That was just really unsafe. When you know that level 2 is coming, you don't want to be where Kane was.
We haven't seen Corki Leona in a while now. Yeah. This is not a lane that's played very frequently, so perhaps Kane, forgetting about the kill pressure that exists. Gorilla is now on a roaming mission, however. You can see getting a ton of wards off of that. Very interestingly, just investing in those wards early.
That's smart. You just buy boots, you get some wards, and then you can roam around, set things up for your jungler, and maybe make a play or two.
Yeah, I love how GE is translating this into vision control immediately.
Yeah, really smart. Duke is doing his best Rengar impression by hiding in the brush and then popping out to do damage.
Yeah, Duke actually, the CS advantage right now, just having that constant, sustained, okay.
Kane, not OQ. Kane, Lee over the wall. There's a knock-up. Kane, no summoners. He's in big trouble. Can he get back to turret? Good Aqua Prison, actually. There's some flashes. Another kill for Gorilla Prey. Valkyrie's through. I'm coming, don't worry.
Wow,
that's dedication to your support.
2 kills right now.
Yeah.
If he can translate this advantage into even more wards and Moby boots, he can be a terror on the map right now. There's really nothing that can be done. Great map play by GE. Notice how methodical that was. Pink ward in behind the red buff. Make sure that the jungler isn't there. They got the deep wards in. Very safe play from GE. And it just continues to punish Kane right here. He's falling behind in levels.
Yeah, way behind.
Watch now. Gonna try and dive the top side. Smeb only level 5, but
yeah, big trouble for Smeb. There's a couple knockups, and Smeb is not. I don't think he's gonna make it out of this one. He heals a bit. Duke. Oh wow.
Whoa.
Smeb just barely living through that. And Duke having to run. Lee not quite there for any counter jungling as he was bot lane, but
wow.
Nice plays by Smeb, man.
Barely both top laners living right there. It was a good dive attempt. I mean, they had a pretty good feeling about where Lee was, so it was relatively safe. And not much lost right there. He is still winning the CS battle.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to teleport topside, so temporary TP advantage to Smeb. And if GE can run with this, they could get another gank off on the bottom side and absolutely shut OQ and Kane down.
Yeah.
Fortunately for Najin, OQ is still farming okay. And also Prey did not get an assist when he valked in under that turret.
Yep.
Moby's already.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting to see Gorilla go for this too, because a lot of times if you get first blood on support, you usually have enough money to just get your sight stone off the bat. That's,
he was so
that's
fast,
what a lot
though.
of people. Yeah, that's what a lot of people end up doing. But I like this. Ooh, Lee coming in onto Duke. Duke still with his flash available, doesn't really know what's going on. There we go. There's a knockup, but now Duke just in a lot of trouble. Tries to flash away, but where are you going to go, man? Double stun, and he ults. Smeb flashes. Oh, where's the twisted advance, man? There it is. And Duke not going to be able to get away from that one. Smeb picking up his first kill. Should be able to outrun Ghost Duke.
Zombie Duke.
Yeah, but just going back to talking about Gorilla, I really like that instead. He just got boots and wards and just went out and got vision. That is very well played.
There's the advantage, and Duke playing forward. Now he doesn't have a TP. Smeb got the kill, still has his TP up.
I will say, though, if you're playing solo queue, you probably still want to get Sightstone anyway, because I wouldn't trust your AD carry alone in lane. You have no time to roam.
Duke trying to turn this one around. Tries to get the knock-up. Does manage to actually pick it up after the flash, but there's just nowhere to go. Runs straight into the wall. You know, he may have actually had better luck going right there and forcing Azir to react instead, but GE dominating in the laning phase so far. A bit of a surprise to see them this far ahead.
3 kills already, and we thought this was going to be a passive early game.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the goal difference isn't too massive at this point. Obviously, Najin's still in this game, despite the 3-kill advantage. And Goong out-farming this Azir Kuro in the mid lane at the moment.
And I mean, actually, OQ getting a nice little CS lead over Prey as well. They've been able to keep him pushed back, regardless of those 2 kills onto Kane.
Yeah, you don't have the pushing pressure. Of course, that passive on the explosive shot will shove you in. Leona really has a hard time walking up to the wave, so you anticipate falling a little bit further behind in terms of plays like Leona. Wonder what Lee's trying to do here. He's waiting for Duke. He wants to come in again.
Yeah, he's wondering if...
So he's lurking right now inside the pit.
Now he's wondering if Duke is going to walk past in River. You know, he's burrowed so he can see people walking along. We'll just go after that Rift Scuttler, though, I suppose.
I think that's going to be quite beneficial for him. Again, he can burrow through the terrain here to come up behind Duke. Duke is playing so cautiously at the moment.
Yeah, I would too.
But that's going to get Smeb back up in terms of his creep score.
Watch, meanwhile, despite that gank in the top lane, has been pretty much just farming. Lee's been active, but you can clear so fast with Rek'Sai still that he's been able to keep up in CS. I need to see more Parasol waving Gorilla. Come on, spam that control 3.
You have 2 of your team's kills as support. It's all
the best.
It's all about the Manor Parasol waving now.
Oh yeah. That's when you do it. You know, if you get a good trade or if you get like a kill in lane, that's when you really start spamming the taunts. Put him on tilt.
Duke and Watch are going to have to be careful about how they engage in this late game.
Yep.
Of course, with the Cataclysm, you can ruin Scion ults potentially by having your own teammate run in. Duke has been good about getting some teleport flank ults off in the past, though. Look at the timing on that. They do see they clear the brush and then immediately the tunnel into the river. Lee trying to get an angle right here.
Can he do it?
Both two keep walking forward. I mean, they know that this lane will keep pressuring automatically.
Yeah.
But Lee not going to take it right now, instead heading back to farming.
Yep. Might be getting close to time to give that blue buff to Kuro.
Kane has ult and Gorilla doesn't, though, so there is a level disparity. Surprisingly here.
Yeah, I kind of was wondering how that happened.
Well, Gorilla's been placing a lot more wards on the map, which is what's happened with the way that he used his gold in the early game. He was out of lane for a little bit.
Kane was a couple levels down, though, so still a little bit surprising to see that happen. I mean, Gorilla's got his 6 now, so should be okay. He's grabbing that cannon minion with the relic shield. And here comes Lee. And Gorilla and Lee should make for a pretty powerful ganking combination. All summoners up again on both sides. So we'll see what happens here.
I wonder if they can actually see that tunnel right there.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think they can.
I think you're probably right. I play pretty safe. A little bit too late anyway. Yeah, I wonder if he was trying to get the tunnel into the brush and he accidentally missed it. Because he did give up on that one pretty quick.
Yeah, I think that's what happened right there. It is hard to tell due to the angle and how close that tunnel is to the brush, but I have a feeling that one might be visible to the opponents, and
certainly could be.
That'll be Najin just backing off. Kuro continuing to farm up, but so is Goong. And
yeah, well, Kuro got some decent damage onto the mid lane turret too. I think it was a little over half health when we saw it for a moment. Gets his Morello Namicon.
He's here again. Pink ward in the river brush. Lee can go through that terrain if he wants. And Gorilla on the roam one more time. Not going to find much on the top side.
Yeah.
Do you see a recall from the bottom lane and the junglers from Najin? So possible dragon not going to be taken right there from GE, considering how many players they have on the top side of the map at the moment. They're going to miss a bit of a timing. Instead, they'll just go ahead and clear it out.
Yep, for now. And will we possibly see a dragon here? Or a setup for it anyway. Gorilla going deep to do some warding again. He's actually going to run into Watch. Oh, there we go. E onto him. Watch just QEs. The battle of the QE combos.
That will be a pink ward taken out. And total vision control right now for GE as they start to gather around this dragon.
I thought so. It was looking like they were going to set it up. Kane there as well. Can Watch come in and maybe seal this one? A battle in the top lane to prevent those teleports. Tidal Wave goes through. Dragon does go over to the GE Tigers. And they'll go ahead and back out. Whoa! Gorilla gets the flash out of Kane there. OQ taking some damage from the rockets. But GE doesn't look like they're going to be able to transition into any kills from here. But taking the dragon is perfectly fine, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Take it step by step, get those objectives one at a time. Don't worry about overreaching and picking up the kill. They got the flash for free as well. Najin trying to respond with some damage down onto that tower, but Phosphorus Bomb will prevent that from happening. Bray inching closer to his Trinity Force at the moment, and Duke will be building Cowl into Frozen Heart, would appear, while Smeb a little bit delayed off of normal from his Rod of Ages, but after starting with a second Doran's Ring, just to hold on to his own in the top side after he's getting pushed in early by Duke, it does make sense. Watch manages to find himself a pink ward. Lee on the outside, though.
A Lee too.
Yeah, can't finish that ward off. So annoying when you only have one hit left.
I was really happy when they made the ward changes a while back. The pink ward game is much more interesting than it used to be, you know?
Yes, it's very good changes indeed.
Yeah. It's been a long time, I suppose, since then, but I still remember the old days, you know? Days of Season 3.
Unlimited wards, oracles.
Right. Everything was invisible.
Yeah, Definitely much better now.
Yep.
A lot more
I agree.
interesting mind games to be played around objectives these days.
Oh, yeah.
And Watch comes in. Last hit.
He gets it. Oh, but Watch taking some damage as well, too. Jeez, Lee just tearing him apart. Smeb, meanwhile, going on to Duke. Can Lee possibly get this kill? Doesn't look like it.
Duke has no boots right now, so he is particularly slow.
Oh, hi, Gorilla.
Gorilla.
I'm Gorilla, and I helped.
Doing his best to roam around the map at this point.
Yeah. Well, they get another pink ward out of it.
Gorilla and Lee really are working well together this game, though. You see them defend that vision around Dragon beautifully in the enemy jungle. Now, Lee has an opportunity to do a little counter jungling as they lose their tier 1, and that'll allow Najin to pull within 500 gold. Still a Dragon down, however, and their mid lane turret hanging by a thread right now.
Yeah, GE can probably equalize that pretty soon. We'll see. Shut up, Nami. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Classic. Ooh, Nami got out of there just
That's
in time.
actually a really key harassment right there, keeping the Tristana around. Now, OQ will have to stay just to make sure they don't take this turret in response. He wants to go back right now. We see Prey already hitting that Trinity Force power spike. OQ not yet with the Infinity Edge. He's going to have Watch come over here to help him get this wave off the tower and avoid taking too much damage.
If they had Lee around, they might have been able to do something there, but Watch in the right place at the right time, able to help defend that. I've got a feeling Kuro's going to get this mid lane turret fairly soon as well, too, unless there's a major change for Najin.
Kuro going for, of course, the attack speed build. So, trying to get that sustained damage during the team fights. Typical Azir stuff.
Got that stinger.
Question is he going to upgrade the stinger? Because this is where we see some of these build paths diverge for Azir players, generally speaking.
Well, you certainly get plenty of attack speed like we're seeing from just the stinger, too.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need that now. There we go. Mid lane turret. And Goom has to beat a hasty retreat. I want to see more Cyan ults. Come on, dude.
Get in the mix. Actually finishes that Banshee's Veil first up right here, just due to the lane matchup versus Smeb. Still no boots. Duke playing a bit of a risky game.
Yeah.
In the long top lane.
He's figuring he can ult and just make up whatever distance he couldn't cover with boots, I guess.
It does involve somebody not stepping in front of him to keep him around, however. So there's always that risk that you run. Goom going to be going for the Zhonya's Hourglass second. Where are you going, Duke? Just checking out the river, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Duke's Grand Adventure. All right, well. Infinity Edge acquired now for OQ, so he's going to be putting out a lot of damage. Prey and Kane, or Prey and... Wow, I'm living in the past, Monty. Goom taking a lot of damage here, too. Ends up having to use a couple ults to get away. But Prey and Gorilla, possibly not quite able to just fight this as head up as they have been.
Well, Gorilla has done so much this game already that he can't just kick back and relax in the brushes before heading out. You know, he really hasn't been able to transfer this advantage to ganks on other lanes. Just pretty much deep warding, working in conjunction with Lee. Kuro just going to town on this turret, however.
Look at that. Nearly kills it.
And will cover his retreat
with a disc of the sun, or a sun disc.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, 25 seconds till Dragon. Kuro may have actually used that ability too early. May have been nice to have it as Dragon spawned in that position, just so you can push them further down the wave, but at least they held the minion wave there.
That's a good point.
Until the Dragon was up.
Well, Dragon up in 5 now. And who's going to get it? Najin really wants to equalize things.
Yeah, I really think he should have actually used that Azir passive now. And it would have made more than likely for better time controlling the mid lane around this Dragon. Instead, they're just going to walk. Okay,
all right,
or you can
like
just do it this way.
Yeah, why worry about Dragon? You can just poke the tier 2 a couple times. And GE Tiger's going deep in that mid lane already.
Trying to set up right here. Gorilla is standing in a green warded brush.
Yeah.
Najin did green and pink ward that bush, so they did maintain vision. Sweeper will come in.
This is going to be a pretty risky dragon if they go for it. We'll see if the top laners can separate enough for teleports to be a factor here. Smeb recalling right now, so he'll get to if he wants to.
So how is Najin going to respond? They could just push the top side.
They're going for it.
Of course, Duke doesn't have any items yet. He's not going to have a chance to recall.
Watch getting poked by Kuro really effectively.
So GE looks like they're all over this one. Another dragon.
Not bad.
But they will trade it for the top lane tower. Duke has enough damage to snap up that objective. So Najin decides it's better off to just trade right there, considering that top lane item advantage would have gone over to Smeb because he actually did have a chance to recall. So I agree with Najin's decision right there. They are going to scale pretty darn hard in this game, and Kuro will have to be super careful about Kassadin. In fact, Kuro needs to get Zhonya's as fast as possible so he doesn't get flanked and just blown up in the back line.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I actually think, upon reflecting, that the Nami was selected by Najin simply because the tidal wave will be able to deal with him in the back line and provide peel as well, because they want to get some CC back there so that Goong can efficiently attack the carries.
I can see that. I mean, his ear wall doesn't really stop an ulting Kassadin, so
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to make.
So and the thing about GE too is that they don't have a lot of potential for a flank engage. This is really a team composition that wants to just run at you from one direction and tank with the Maokai and the Leona in the front line. Maokai can flank, of course, but with how well Najin can kite, I think that may be a bit far-fetched. Meanwhile, Najin, on the other hand, will have an easier time getting after Azir and Corki.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the Nami was selected, considering they had already seen every pick but Leona.
That makes sense. 3 turrets now for the GE Tigers as they take down the bottom tier 1. Only the top tier 1 remaining for the outer turrets of Najin the Empire.
Yeah, turrets all tied up though, thanks to that aggressive pressure in the mid lane from GE. OQ is going to keep on farming up. He will be such a huge threat in the late game.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I feel like Najin kind of just needs to survive, you know?
Yeah, I think they're going to have a really advantageous late game if they can find the flanks they want. Big setup here from GE.
Yeah, no vision for Najin. Watch.
They're picking that brush. They know it's dangerous.
They do. They don't see anyone from the Tigers on the map right now, so watch. And Duke making the smart choice and walking around the long way.
This is a good bait from GE.
Yeah.
The Baron weaker, so there is a realistic possibility they could be doing it right now, probably not without Azir.
Yep. Oh.
Wow.
That was
of course,
close,
GE able to detect everything that was going on thanks to the tremor sense.
Yep. He can pretty much tell people where they are, or tell his teammates where everyone else is. Can they get this top lane turret, though? They can get this Rift Scuttler. He's worth like 1/100th of a Baron buff or so.
I really like what GE is doing right here. I think this is such an excellent strategy at this time of the game. Just put some pressure on the mid and top lane. Try and take that tier 1, and maybe you'll get lucky and they'll face check a brush.
Or maybe he'll catch Watch and try. Watch trying to get away. Hasselburn that flash to get out of the solar flare. And so GE, whoa, Duke teleported right in as the turret went down. Tidal wave comes through, hits a bunch of members of GE. Smeb gets ahead of everyone. Kane not connecting with that Aqua Prison. OQ still doing decent damage with the back line. So GE, they can't get Duke, but they do get the turret.
Wow, I am so surprised Duke actually finished his teleport right there and decided to come in. He still does have his ult up.
It's a race
Najin now rotating over, but this is actually exactly where Najin wants GE.
I think it is. Smeb going back in again. OQ getting jumped on the back, getting really low. They're chasing him down. Gorilla trying to get there, but he can't quite do it. Watch in the meanwhile locks up some GE players, but Lee grabs that first kill. There's the Azir, all keeping Duke away as much as they can. Kuro so low, a double kill for Lee. Kuro is still alive, I can't believe it. And the fight will be won by GE. Can Smeb get away? Looks like Ghost Duke. GE ain't afraid no Ghost.
Wow, well, OQ will get the tower in response. He got chunked out early.
Yeah.
If OQ hadn't been knocked up right there by Lee, that fight would have gone entirely the other direction. Now
What
we
is
have
this?
a Baron attempt here coming in.
Najin does not expect
Wow, this is
at
so
all.
dangerous, but at the same time, they've controlled the vision around there for a while.
Wow, GE Tigers, they win the fight. They grab the Baron. Man, I love this team.
Okay.
They're just so decisive.
So this should be a pretty advantageous fight for Najin right
think
here.
so.
But OQ gets the flash knock up onto him from Lee and has to kite out. Gorilla does a great job of zoning him with the Leona W on to mitigate the damage.
Yeah.
And then Duke just can't quite stay onto the back line. And man, Gorilla played that fight beautifully, especially considering how far out he was in front of the team. I don't blame Najin for taking that fight at all.
it looked good for them at the beginning.
Yeah, it
really did.
That
Yeah.
was really advantageous because they still had a lot of their ults available to use over the course of that team fight, but it was really Lee and Gorilla who played that fight beautifully to prevent OQ from getting resets, which he very nearly got on
Yeah.
several extremely low HP members.
Well, talk about knowing your limits. Kuro just barely edging out survival there in that team fight. And see, if Najin loses this game, they have to deal with the fact that they were beaten by a team wearing a bunch of pink vests and cat ears.
The ultimate humiliation.
That's
Noah.
right. It's beyond trash talk, man. It's trash dress.
That's how you style with style, Noah.
I guess so. Super style, and it looks like GE is going to take an uncontested third dragon as well. Man, GE is starting to run away with this one a bit. I mean, Najin still has a strong late game, but it's all GE Tigers right now.
Yeah, and their late game is more than likely not strong enough to deal with.
Yeah, because that's
What's
a
been
strong
thrown at
late
them.
game if things are even, and GE is starting to get too big of a lead.
Yeah, exactly. Even with this Tristana, OQ not quite able to deal enough damage so far. Does have the Phantom Dancer right now, but he desperately needs a Last Whisper against all the armor being fielded by Smeb and Lee at the moment.
Prey just going for that blade as his second item, just for a little bit more survivability.
Bye, Lee.
He's gonna ult. Fun times with Rek'Sai. I don't think I've ever seen that ult used in competitive play to set up a gank.
Oh, it has been.
I don't know.
But I think it's just much stronger to use in this fashion.
Yeah, it's better to use as like a second teleport, essentially.
Yeah, well, he just manipulated the minion wave.
Yeah, just move around.
So now Najin has to deal with that at the top side eventually. It
Yep.
was actually, this is such a beautiful setup from GE right here. This is very good minion wave manipulation because now they're going to have to choose between defending this or losing a tier 2 turret, or at least getting a significant amount of damage down.
Well, that's the question here. I mean, in a team of two Najins, who controls the minions? Oh, Kuro gets locked up with that Aqua Prison. There's the Azir ult to keep people away. Tidal Wave comes through, and people did get into the back lines a little bit. Goong has to use that Zonias right away. Goong's still in the back lines. They blew up Kuro, but they got Goong in response. Now Smeb does go down.
Uh-oh, OQ can get some huge resets
Lee
right
got
here.
caught as well, too. This is looking bad for GE. There's a kill for Smeb. Gorilla in trouble. Prey trying to escape. He can't make it. And OQ manages to get the double after a couple resets.
And that is an ace. Huge
Yes, it is.
turnaround for Najin right there. Great engage by Goong. He got onto the carries, which is exactly what he needed. GE getting a little bit overbold. They just had to hold out till that minion wave hit the tier 2
It's exactly what
in the
we
top
were,
side. But yeah, OQ very dangerous.
Well, that's what we were talking about. The combination between Tidal Wave and Goong. Watch how Kane and him work
Kuro
together.
walked up on that one. He shouldn't have walked up. And then Goong, look how he gets into the back line and totally Zonia based this one. Now they have no more crowd control to deal with OQ, so he's able to freely auto attack throughout this entire team fight. Even with all the armor that Smeb has, they managed to get through it. Duke tanky, so Prey can't do much. Watch, great combo into Cataclysm right there. OQ will pop his heal to get the few extra steps and that speed onto Prey, and then they're able to take down the Azir turret as well. So overhold pressure from GE. Now they're still 5k gold up.
Yeah.
And they still have 3 dragons to 0, so they have a huge advantage in this game.
I mean, another thing to keep in mind is that ace from Najin was their first 5 kills of the game, too, at 30 minutes. So
But a lot of that went on to OQ, and the
Sure
closer he gets to Last Whisper, the more dangerous he's going to be.
Yeah. Kane, I gotta say, had some really good Aqua Prisms during that fight, too.
Here's the mistake, I think, Doa. Kuro went for Death Cap before Zhonya's. I really don't like that in this game, considering that, I mean, you can just get blown up by this Kassadin. You don't need that much AP. You have a Trinity Force Corki to get the sieges down. You have plenty of damage at this juncture in the game. Sure, late. In the late game, as Corki falls off, you will rely on the Azir for damage. But having safety, if he had a Zhonya's, that fight would have been entirely different.
Oh, definitely. Now that said, shut up, Nami. That said, if Kuro can just be a little bit safer about his positioning too, then ideally GE Tigers don't even need to worry about that situation to begin with.
Oh boy, here's the Last Whisper.
Yep, it's up. Last Whisper for Prey as well, but that Tristan is going to do way more damage.
Yeah, this is really dangerous, especially considering now that Duke has the Thornmail as well. We have two huge frontline tanks at the moment, but OQ will cut through the enemy faster, and Aegis is up actually.
Yeah.
Of course, that'll help a lot with the missile damage from Corki as well. Very tense game here at 30 minutes.
Yeah. Now Gorilla with that Randuin's.
Yeah.
Or with the Warden's Mail anyway. Possibly Randuin's eventually.
The longer this game goes, the more beneficial it will be for Najin. Of course, Jarvan going to be doing a lot more in the late game than Rek'Sai, at least in team fights.
Yep. Just going over by Baron. Baron up in about 25 seconds now. Another Dragon in 50. So GE, they've done so well on objective control this game. Can they continue it? They really need to get these.
They should have the advantage around the Baron pit right here. Any choke point situation with Azir will be highly favorable to the team with the Azir. And now GE still looking to put that pressure on. They do have that slight turret advantage.
We saw Najin for a moment think about turning around onto this.
This isn't the fight they want. They want the flank.
Exactly, yeah.
What they need to just back off, because in a frontal engage, this is the situation they need to avoid.
Oh boy. GE maybe with an opportunity here. Pushing Najin away.
So Najin in a better position right here. GE is not going to be able to catch them in a choke point. Look at how they're spreading out. This is how Najin wants to fight.
It's getting a bit scary, but look, GE's going to go in. There's the tidal wave. Can they catch watch? Another great Aqua Prism from Kane after that tidal wave. Duke gets to the back lines. He misses people. There we go. A big knockup gets a couple members of GE. Smeb in the meantime pushes OQ away for now. Does that give GE enough time to blow up the rest of Najin? We'll see. Duke will go down. A kill for Kuro. Gorilla low health, but still in the fight. Duke, they're just going to blow up the Ghost as well. And tentatively, a fight won for GE. They're just going to go onto the Dragon here.
Yeah, in spite of only one person actually dying in that fight, OQ forced onto auto-attacking the tank.
Yep.
Kane, again, having some very nice bubbles in these team fights, and Watch was sent in on peeling duty with the Cataclysm, but he just wasn't able to chew through the front line quite fast enough. And if OQ can't do that now, I'm not sure if he's ever going to be able to do it.
That's 4 Dragons, and now they're going to try to get their second Baron as well. Can they catch Goong? Goong ults away at the last moment.
No,
I don't
Duke
think they
has
can quite.
TP up, but they can't really do Baron right now.
They can't do it yet. It's a bit too dangerous.
Smeb back up. Smeb still doesn't have Thornmail.
You know, with the recalls coming in from Goong and Kane, we'll see.
So they can't quite set up right here into the back line. Duke gets into the mix. Oh, if he had hit that ult, the quick sidestep by Kuro right there.
Yep.
Actually, I think Duke should have just tried to flank the front line with the ultimate if possible. Wait till the Cataclysm went down and then hit them for extra knockup. I actually think that was a mistake in the team fight by Duke right there. That cost them. Really, you just need to keep the front line CC'd so that OQ has free reign to auto-attack like that. Yeah, I don't think he should have tried for the ult onto Kuro. Instead, just walked back and waited for Cataclysm to end and then followed up on that ability for Chain CC.
Yep. Well, Najin taking some vision around the Baron pit for now. Looks like, you know, where the Baron and the Dragon hung out used to be, like palaces or something. You'd think in the remake for Summoner's Rift they'd rebuild them, you know. They obviously hadn't been kept up for a long time. Just leaving them ruins, I guess.
That's how Riot rolls. They can only fix so many things at once, Della. They don't have infinite resources.
The levers only go so far. Oh, GE trying to set up a pick, but with the Rift Scuttler in favor of Najin, it's going to be kind of unlikely that Najin walks into this one. Now they're just going to go for it. All right, it's going to be a Baron. They are spotted, of course, by Najin. They're going to go in. GE trapped in the pit. This could be bad. Here we go. Baron taken by GE. Kung uses the Zonias. Kills already from GE. They get one right off the bat onto Watch, and now GE turning around. OQ just out of the fight already. No peel for him right now. Kung gets taken down. Prey with the killing blow there, and it just doesn't seem like Najin is quite able to get the engages they need.
Well, everybody is just too damn tanky.
I guess so.
OQ has been reigning in damage this game, but even his crits are only doing about 200 to 250 on the front line. So just not able to get quite enough punishment out. So GE has repeatedly been able to grind them down. Watch will be back up quickly, but they probably can't hold on to this inhibitor. Yeah, it's looking unlikely. Goon still has 10 seconds remaining before he comes back to life, but it's not going to take long for the inhibitor to go down. And GE Tigers, they got 4 dragons. They've gotten both Barons now. They've gotten the objectives. Najin had that one team fight win, but the rest of the game has just been GE controlling everything. Let's watch this again. Goon goes in, does get the force pulse off, and Watch traps everybody in right there, but OQ can't start autoing until after Watch is already dead. Look at that. He's only critting Leona for about less than 250 right there. Goog still in on the flank. There's no real follow-up engage. The synergy between the engage from Jarvan and Sion, it just hasn't been there this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing kind of one of the problems between engaging with Jarvan and Sion, because if you engage with Jarvan first, you know, wait for people to be corralled, by the time Sion can get there, Jarvan's long dead.
Yeah, and because Watch went for the Aegis this game, he has no way to deal with the damage coming out of Lee and Prey, so he can be focused down quite quickly, actually.
Yeah. And it's easy for Kuro to just push people back, and they kind of just sealed in the Baron pit.
And Locket just, you know.
Not enough tankiness. No.
Not enough tankiness, and it's also just not helping the rest of his team either. He can't activate it because he's never near them.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're going to go for this again. Duke trying to make something happen. Can they win a fight here? Goon with the bait again with Zonias. Duke trying to get the backlines. He does get onto Prey. Prey zoned out at the moment. The Cataclysm blocking up a lot of GE. They do manage to get Duke anyway, though. Smeb going way deep. It's so tanky. And they manage to draw the fight out until Prey can finally start getting some kills here. Going to get the inhibitor again. And it's like you said before, I feel like it's a broken record now, man, because it's all about the tankiness of that front line. There's just nothing stopping GE Tigers now, and they will win this game.
Oh, OQ killed somebody.
Oh, that's true. He did get
This is the danger, though. They could. Oh,
Goon chunked out way too far there. Double kill for OQ. He's got the resets. They're starting here. A 0 used, but the Nexus goes down, and GE Tigers will take game 1. GEG.
GEG, indeed.
Yep, they're wearing cat ears, and they just beat you. League of Legends.
I like it how they have them on their headsets, actually.
It's, you know, it makes a lot of sense. It's hard to wear headsets over like a headband like that, right? that doesn't sound comfortable at all.
Well, very dominant game. Gorilla, fantastic play that game overall. I will be a bit surprised if he doesn't get that MVP. Very nice zoning play on the Leona. Set up most of those kills. Great job on the early aggression.
Yep.
To get some deep wards in, transferring that first blood into a lot of map control.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked too about Prey's positioning, and still this game, 4-1-6, just continues to be rather elusive on his ADCs.
Fantastically done. Najin, a little bit stilted in terms of their engagements.